Holy cow. Did you see that Duke-Carolina game on Saturday? Was that the greatest college basketball comeback of all time? Where would you rank that comeback just in the Duke-UNC rivalry? On this journey, I'm going to be breaking down how this epic comeback, how this stacks up against some of the greatest we've ever seen in Duke history. Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, in this journey, we're going to be breaking down the amazing, I'm talking about a phenomenal comeback on Saturday, Duke beating North Carolina. Now, before I get too far, I got to start off and I got to keep it 100. I got to keep it 100. I thought Duke was going to lose. I'm a Duke fan. I had one of my homeboys hit me up, James Brown, hit me up and said, yo, are you tuned in? And I can't lie, I was tuned in, watching every second, every minute, and I was pissed. We were down 70-60 with like 7 minutes left, down about 13 points with about 4 minutes left in the game, and I'm pissed. I even thought, honestly, I thought the game was over. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Duke lost. Vernon Carey just fouled out, but those boys had the heart of a champion. So, before we get too far into this being the greatest college basketball comeback of all time, because let's be honest with you, this probably it's up there. It's up there, but where does it rank in the Duke-Carolina rivalry? Let's just start there. To me, the top two comebacks that come to mind that would even compete with this one, let's go back to 2012, from probably one of the most recent amazing comebacks. How about the Austin Rivers that shot her around the world? Now, this is a top Duke team and a top North Carolina team. Both teams were top 10 that season. 2012, in the Dean Dome, Duke was down 10 points with 2 minutes left to go. Now, you had a fluke tip in by Zeller. Duke hits three, comes back, comes down. But the Austin Rivers, stone cold ice in his veins, sized them up. Dagger. That sent thousands that were in the arena. Stone cold dropped them. The millions that were watching around the world. Think about all of those fans, all those Carolina fans that were just devastated by that dagger. Now, that to me is a top 3 comeback in the Duke-Carolina rivalry all time. But it's not the best. It's not even the top 2. I'm gonna be honest, that's not even the top 2. To me, you gotta go back to 1974. Now, a lot of people watching this weren't even born in 74. I wasn't born in 74. But if you are a historian of the college basketball game, especially the Duke-Carolina rivalry like I am, you gotta know about 1974 game. This right here was an epic game where North Carolina they were really good that year. Duke was trash, sort of like Carolina is this year. Duke was trash that year, but Duke was up and basically had the game in the bag. Up 8 with 17 seconds left to go in the game. Up 8 with 17 seconds left to go. Walter Davis comes down with about a third. Now keep in mind, there's no 3-point line at this time. That's another thing that makes this comeback so amazing. There's no 3-point line. A 30-footer. Bank it. Drilling it. to tie this thing up. Like, come on. A 30-footer? That's almost like the Jeff Capel shot that was in Cameron. But, Carolina went on to win that game in overtime. But you got to give credit to Walter Davis and North Carolina for being down 8 points and coming back and winning that game with just 17 seconds left. So that, to me, is the number 2 comeback of all time. I got to put this game at number 1. And I'm going to get into why this game, to me, is the greatest comeback in the Duke-Carolina rivalry. Even though, like I said, I got to give credit to the 2012 shot by Austin Rivers. It was amazing. I saw that one. I remember that. But the 74, I got to put over that because 8 points, 17 seconds. Like, come on. Right, all right. You got to give him credit for that. So I started thinking, okay, if this this game right here, the shot by Trey Jones, the shot by Wendell Moore, if this game here is the greatest comeback in Duke Carolina history, which I believe it is, where does it rank and where does it stack up for Duke in just their program history? So you got to go back to some games years ago, almost 2 decades ago. But one of the most recent comebacks was just last year, and one of the greatest comebacks in Duke history. The largest deficit Duke has ever faced was 23 points. That was just last season. Down 23 points with 9 minutes left in the game. Remember, this is Zion Williamson. This is the RJ Barrett, the Cam Reddish, and the Trey Jones-led Duke Blue Devils. On the road at Louisville, down 23 with 9 minutes to go. They went on they went on an epic run. I mean, to close the game out on a 35-10 run on the road. That wasn't a sorry Louisville's team either. So that right there was in my top 3. But I gotta move that one outside of my top 3 as far as Duke comebacks of all time. And we gotta go back a couple, almost 2 decades. Go back to 2001 if you want to look at the greatest comebacks in Duke history. How about the Miracle Minute? How about the national championship squad? How about Jason Williams leading the Duke Blue Devils, who were a big-time squad back there with Shane Battier, Carlos Boozer, Nate James, Chris Duhon, Mike Dunleavy. That team was loaded. One of my favorite teams of all time, by the way. That squad was down 10 points with less than a minute to go. Down 10 with less than a minute to go. Jason Williams, 3. Steal. 3. Layup. Like, free throws by Nate James to ice it. They go to overtime. Score 10 straight, go to overtime, win the game. Win the game in overtime. Now, that was impressive. That was impressive. I mean, to do that in a minute on the road in Maryland, that was impressive. That to me was not the best comeback of all time, though. That same year, 2001, Duke versus that same Maryland squad in the Final Four. That team right there was destined to win a championship. They were down 22 points in the first half to Maryland, a team that they had already come back on. 22 points in the first half in the Final Four. They go on an unbelievable run. It was a 33-point turnaround to ultimately win the game by 11. That team right there, man, they were great. They were great. So those 2 Maryland comebacks to me are in the top 3 all time when it comes to Duke and epic comebacks. But I'm gonna tell you why this comeback for this Saturday's game, this most recent game, Duke versus Carolina, I'm gonna tell you why this is the greatest comeback of all time. Better than the 2 Maryland comebacks. Better than, and granted, the Final Four had more of an impact, right? Because it was more on the line. Final Four. The Miracle Minute, that was more. You were going up against definitely a better team, right? So I get that. The Austin Rivers shot was so clutch, so pretty, such a dagger. Even the Walter Davis shot. But all of those, the reason I put this one above all of them, a couple of things. Number one, you're on the road, okay? In the Dean Dome. We're talking about over 21,000 fans there. You're playing against an inferior squad, right? Who basically for 40-something minutes outplayed you. You're down 9 at half. You come back, trying to close it, they push it. Every run you're trying to make, they got an answer for you. 4 minutes to go in the game. Your best player fouls out with 4 minutes to go, and you're down 13 points. So unlike those other wins that we had, those other comebacks, we had our best players still on the court in those games. Vernon Carey in the first half was unguardable. 18 points in the first half, 6 for 7 from the field. Absolutely unguardable. And with 4 minutes left in the game, he fouls out. So now Duke, losing their best player, down 13, they turn to their most important player, Tre Jones. And he almost like embodied his brother, his older brother, Tyus Jones, and the big time comeback he had just a couple years ago in 2015 against Carolina in an overtime win in February to lead Duke in a 2-point win in overtime. Tre Jones went ham in a mano-a-mano matchup going up against Cole Anthony, who is going to be a top 5 lottery pick. I mean, his stock has dropped some. People are talking about possibly number 1 pick. He won't be a number 1 pick. Definitely a top 5. He's a superstar, right? So he's going up against a big time player. They've got the lead. They're on that. UNC's at home. Check this out though. Even after they made that comeback, you got to remember, Duke was still down 3 with 4 seconds left. When they fouled Tre Jones, right, with 4 seconds left, you don't have time to hit both free throws and to get back on defense and play the foul game. It's 4 seconds left in the game. So you have to hit the first, number 1, and then secondly, you have to miss the second, get the rebound, and put it in. He hits the first, and then down 2 points, there's only one place you can throw the ball, to hit the rim and make it bounce to where only you get the ball. And he threw it exactly where it needed to go. Gets the ball, a double team is right there, he almost loses the ball, dribbles through the double team, and hits the jumper. A buzzer beater. He hits a buzzer beater to send it to overtime. And as if that's not enough. Now, going into the overtime, you expect, okay, listen, the momentum is out of the entire gym. Duke's got it. They go up to like a 5-point lead. So you think this thing is a wrap. Carolina storms back, takes the lead. Mind you, they, in overtime, took the lead back. Now Duke is down yet again and has to make another comeback. So we saw not 1 but 2 buzzer beaters in the same game. When have we ever seen that? In a rivalry game. Check this out, man. So now you're talking about being down, still on the road against your rivals, going down, coming back, and then they were down with 21 seconds left. Duke's down 5. You got to remember that. It's only 21 seconds left on the clock, and Duke is down 5 points. We get a layup. We get a stop. And they just keep coming. They did not give up. But the most improbable shot you could ever imagine. Tre Jones shoots the ball at this almost the same identical spot that he hit the last shot to force overtime. He gets the ball almost at the same spot, shoots it, and now mind you, Wendell Moore was the person who tipped the ball out. A lot of people didn't see that. Wendell Moore tipped the ball, and that missed free throw, he tips the ball out. Okay? He gets the offensive rebound, tips it out to Tre Jones. Tre Jones takes the shot, misses the shot. Wendell Moore has the instinct, the IQ to attack the glass while everybody else is sitting there stargazing, and gets the offensive rebound and the putback for the game winner. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like this, specifically in this matchup, in this series. Oh man, it doesn't get any better than that. I've got so many Carolina fans, and I'm talking as far as friends, their hearts were crushed. They literally could not, from the 3-4 minute mark, they were posting up a storm. Ready. I know they had the memes ready. It was trash talk city coming. Man, they got quiet real quick. People started just logging off, disappearing, disconnecting the line. You didn't hear nothing from anybody on Franklin Street, the Dean don't nowhere. This right here will go down, in my opinion, as the greatest comeback in college basketball history, especially if Duke goes on to win the championship. Now I say that because when you go back to those miracle minute, right, with Jason Williams, that team won the championship. That Final Four comeback against Maryland, that team won the championship. So to me, those are the greatest comeback in Duke history because eventually that team was remembered for being one of the greatest Duke teams of all time. This Duke team here doesn't have the talent of that team, but don't sleep on this team. This team right here, it reminds me a lot of the 2015 squad, where you got the Jones brother running the ship. You got an elite, all-American level big man, like we had with Jahlil Okafor. You got that with Vernon Carey. You've got athletic guys like we had back there with Justice Winslow. You've got that with Wendell Moore and Cassius Stanley. Like, this team here is serious. And I think they have some more room to grow, specifically on the defensive end. But if this game right here, this comeback, this could be what propels them to go to that next level that they need. Tonight, it starts. You got a game against FSU tonight at home. This is the game I want to see how they respond. How do you rebound from an emotional win like that? Are you able to come out there and take care of business against Florida State tonight? Go down to the comment section below and let me know. Do you think this was the greatest college basketball comeback of all time? Was it the greatest comeback in the Duke UNC rivalry? Where does this rank amongst those all-time great comebacks? Go down to the comment section below and let me know. As always, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, hit that like button, and tap that notification bell so that you can stay updated with the journey of a Ballaholic.